gone for a oh God, this Canon camera really accentuates my long nose, isn't it? 92.5 kilos, so up 0.3 kilo this week, feeling good. Very solid week of training, recovery and sleep as well. I got a fan and I think the of the fan is like putting me to sleep, and the parakeets have stopped as well. I'm not too sure where the parakeets are gone, but I'll take that. Nose strips are helping, earplugs are also, that's going to offend a few people, isn't it? I found an old BB gun at my mum's and it doesn't even have a thingy. Just the loud bang seems to have deterred them, which is great. So all in all, a fantastic week. On the way to the post office to drop these giveaway t-shirts off. Kingsley sent over the back piece design for season number 2, which is me doing the vacuum from the Nabba show, and it looks fucking on point. Just how I wanted it, so that'll be a continuous theme throughout the rest of the t-shirts. And I just need to set up the Shopify website, get a label printer, and also get the custom TMC mail bags that the t-shirts will be going in. Got a plan. Tomorrow I'm going to the RTS Foundations of Exercise Mechanics, and that's at the Hilton in Tower Hill. So instead of having a mad rush in the morning, booked a night there tonight so that I can wake up. I've also got a push session, so I'm going to wake up, go to Muscle Works, back to Hilton, shower, Integra, seminar, chilled. Oh, Elle doesn't like the lifts. They give you free oatmeal and raisin cookies.
They get warm.
They're warm geregnet. Love Island.
Love Island.
I've only had one meal today, so we're going to go for a Nando's to hit my caloric intake for the day, and then I'm going to try and order another meal in before bed, and then just train faster tomorrow. So I'll just wake up, have my pre-workout and go to Muscle Works. I even brought my 4 Belgian white chocolate and raspberry cookies with me.
You don't even need them, we got 2 cookies complimentary.
Yeah, they give us 2 complimentary, that's really good. I respect it when hotels have got ironing boards in there already, because you have that horrible sweaty feeling of, oh my god, are they going to knock on my door with the ironing board in time for me to go out? Do you think you could ever be a city worker?
Maybe.
I don't think I've got it in me. I just don't like,
IHOP, is it?
It is an IHOP. Oh fucking hell, it actually is. I just don't like the idea of wearing a suit. Get them off, Bill. Get that off. Love Island's on. Meal number 3, goddammit. Pro fat meal. Ow. Sea bass, grilled asparagus and a mixed leaf salad. That's perfect. That's put me on my calories for the day. 220 protein, about 400 carb and 90 fat. Gonna eat this, let it digest, watch Love Island, go to sleep, and then up about... What? There will be no sleeping with each other tonight. I want optimal testosterone levels for my push session tomorrow at Muscle Works. Right, Muscle Works, push session today, 6 o'clock. Seminars about 8:30 I think for registration. So again, volume fairly low on chest. Just want to open up with an isolation movement, a couple of sets there. We'll go to a compound movement. Machine wise in Muscle Works is spot on, so can pretty much stick to the same sort of plan that is programmed in at King's, and then we'll go on to some shoulder movements and finish with triceps. Naked voiceovers with, well I'm not naked, I've got shorts on. Topless voiceover sessions with TM Cycles. I'm bloody fat. Went for a barbecue with the boys on Saturday. Thanks Philo, amazing spread mate, tomahawk steak. Alright, and I thought why am I not cutting now for the Ibiza Classic 4.0? then I thought, no, look, I'm going to marry myself to the process. We've got the DEXA scan booked in. We can see how much tissue we've gained over the 12 weeks, and then we can dip down and we can go from there and just go ultra hard. Because as Joey Delaney says, Ibiza is the world stage anyway. I'm also going to get my bloods done in a couple of weeks' time to assess where my testosterone levels are at. I reckon they're back to the physiological range. They were slightly above that super physiological range still. I was cruising on 150 milligrams of the SIS labs, and my test levels came back just above that, and I wanted to bring them down a little bit. Switched up the labs, gone for Moldovan Pharma. So it'll be interesting to see after 4 weeks worth of this new lab at 125 milligrams a week what that puts my testosterone levels at. So I'd always recommend leaving about 3 or 4 weeks before getting bloods assessed if you're using something like testosterone enanthate. Anyway, onto the session. Very, very good. There's something quite nice about training fasted. It's almost a clear mind, and the pre-workout hits very, very quickly. One thing I would recommend if you are training fasted is hydration. You know, a litre of water, possibly some more electrolytes in your intra-workout drink, just because you don't want to be too dehydrated going into your session if you are training fasted. You still want to be able to get that good pump. I used to do it a lot before the GNC days because I didn't really like training at 5 or 6 in the evening. I'd wake up, hydrate, pre-workout, bang, it'd hit. But very good session. Muscle works. I've trained here a couple of times before with Luke when we work in Shoreditch. Never done any legs here. Usually use the Muscle Works at Alpington for legs just because they've got like 3 different bits of kit for each exercise. Leg extensions, leg press and hack squat. But a good push session. First time overhead pressing, going for single arm. Lauren suggested I do single arm work to see how it is. The right shoulders has cleared up a lot. Third physio session, just had one today. Feeling a lot better. Can lat spread a lot, it's a lot more even. Since getting some work done, opening up that chest, my right side of my chest gets very, very tight indeed, and that's impeding my shoulders slightly. But we opened up this session, I know we're a bit late into it now, but with some isolation work, some cuffed work. Reason being, we're looking to decrease that joint force on the shoulder, something that I picked up from the Integra. Always utilise cuff work. Callum had it programmed, but the reason as to why, if you imagine, and taking this particular exercise as well, where we've got the pads on the elbows, if you imagine the resistance on the dumbbell doing standing lateral raises, we want to get as close to the axis as possible, the shoulder, to alleviate that joint force. So I still do some dumbbell work, some side lateral work, but for those that have got sort of severe shoulder problems, for example, it might be worth getting some cuffed work. And I also find isolation work before a lot of compounds is really beneficial. You seem to feel like you're recruiting, and that sounds bro sciencey, but you feel that you're engaging a lot more of the muscle that you're training, before, if you want to potentially look at experimenting yourself, and you're someone that goes into the gym and just jumps on the bench press straight away, look at isolation work before. Again, with the back, look at getting your lats fired up, doing some underhand banded work or some bodyweight pull-ups, and then go and do like a bent over row. And I can guarantee you'll feel a far better connection, is what I'm trying to say, with your compound work doing an isolation. But if it's not for you, it's not for you. I also find doing some leg extensions before leg pressing and pendulum squats have a massive beneficial impact as well, and just freeing up the knees as well and the hips, getting them nice and loose and warmed up. So give it a try. Then finished on some double rope tricep extensions. This particular gym doesn't have the long ones that they do in Kings, so just double up for these. And then we also did some seated cuffed tricep extensions, so utilising those cuffs again. And someone asked me on my Instagram what was my favourite tricep exercise at the moment, and it would be the seated cuffed tricep. Depending on what machine you're using, I think the one at MuscleWorks is the free motion one, but the one at Kings as well, you can adjust the arms. I tend to cross, but if the machine doesn't allow you to cross, then just do them double armed. And any TM Cycles members watching, you'd have seen this exercise that was performed when I trained with Josh the other day, and we just stood behind each other and supported that back as well. But all in all, a very, very good session. Very, very good seminar. Going to book on to the next one in September as well to expand that. And it was a week of education, because last night Dr. Dean did his pharmacology, anabolic steroid talk that he did at Body Power, and it was fantastic. Got my notebook out for that. Missed Love Island, but it was worth it. I'm commenting in the future, it looks like. Anyway, I'm just going to leave you with a physique update. What a stunning day in Cyclesland. I'm ready to learn. I'm ready to learn. I forgot the modafinil. More learning.
I'm just making which muscles up there. The key thing is that you're seeing, for this to do its job, it needs all of them.
Informative part of the video. Put Elle's glasses on to make myself look smarter. The individual on the Q&A, Instagram Q&A, I do it most mornings when I do my morning walk, asked about how they'd structure their nutrition in terms of nutrient timing in an off-season around a 9-to-5 job, because he was struggling. I find a lot of people that have 9-to-5 jobs have this defeatist attitude because they have that 9-to-5, that they're somehow going to impede on their progression, when essentially when you do have that structured routine of a 9-to-5, you're in quite a beneficial position. So don't just think because you've got 9-to-5 you can't get in the gym. You can either go pre or post. This certain individual trained after work. So in terms of setting up nutrient timing for someone that trains after work, I would look at getting in a meal before work. So meal number 1, preferably a pro-fat meal. I've always been one to offer pro-fat meals. Ease off on digestion, not a huge hit of carbohydrates upon wake. Meal number 2, this is lunch, depending on how many carbs you're on. If you're on a higher carb intake, then potentially look at introducing some carbs around lunch. If not, if you're still on the sort of 350 to 400, then again, another pro-fat meal. If you want meal 1 and 2, pro-fat. Meal 3, this individual could have some food at 3 PM, 2 hours before training. At that point, I'd introduce some carbohydrates. I'd then have your pre-workout meal, allow adequate digestion time, then you utilise those carbs and you go and train at 5. Again, depending on your carb intake, you might want to opt for an intra-workout cyclic dextrin. I tend to only include that when my carbs get above the sort of 550 to 600 gram carb mark, and start putting some intra-carbs there. And then you'd have your post-workout meal. Again, focus on that peri-workout, that pre-intra and that post-workout window where you're consuming the majority of your carbohydrates. And if you've got time, then you could look at getting in on another meal before bed, something like half a bagel with some peanut butter, for example. Or again, it depends on your macros. But I would say in terms of a nutrient timing aspect for those that train after work, that bulk of carbs come in between that sort of 3 PM and post-workout window. So I hope that's cleared. Cleared it up for anyone that is in the same position. I'm thinking that now the beard's sort of joined up, I'll grow a big fuck off one. Quick, we're late for church. The pastor will be fucking raging. Fucking raging with Tommy. How are we? Really good seminar yesterday at Integra. Very, very good. The next one I believe is September 7th, so we'll be going to that as well. Quite complicated in terms of, it was a bit of a refreshing course, or a refresher for the stuff that I learned like 4 or 5 years ago, maybe even longer than that. When was I at Lewisham College? Like 7 years ago. About joint mechanics, and I took a lot of things home, which was good, and some things just went completely over my head, which I'll put a star next to, that I will research myself. So today, oh, strong today. You put something in that?
Yeah,
We're hypno. Listen to them, the fuckers are back. Today I'm gonna take you for a full day of eating. It's Sunday today, which is my my laying day. I don't set my alarm for Sundays, and if I do, then I'll just turn it off and sleep. So the time now is 10 o'clock. I'm gonna have a coffee, edit the last week's video going into tomorrow. Then I'm gonna do my steps and come back and have meal number 1. What I've been doing recently, because my breakfasts are quite large, is that I've been sitting down having my cereal first, having a break, and then having my second sort of breakfast. And alongside my meals, the super enzymes, very beneficial. Been using them for about the past, when was the last vlog? When I mentioned I asked Josh Bridgman, probably about 10 days ago. Small benefits. If you can improve digestion through a digestive enzyme and getting more out of your nutrients, then there's more tissue to be gained. Very, very small amount, but...
Still some tissue.
Pardon?
But still some tissue.
Still some tissue. Still some tissue nonetheless. Meal 1 down, which was the bowl of cereal. I'll let that digest, play on my phone for a little bit. Like 12. Play on my phone. Then I'm ready for the second meal, which is 4 blueberry pancakes from Marks and Spencer's. Fantastic. A few of you on Instagram have been buying them, tagging me, and it's very, very tasty. On top of that, I'll have 150 grams of egg whites and 1 whole egg. And then on the pancakes, I put a bit of honey and some Nigel Farage total Greek yogurt on top of it.
Oh, so hot.
Why are you so hot? Do you feel okay?
No, I don't actually feel very well.
I gave you half a scoop, not a quarter of a
No,
scoop.
you didn't. You wouldn't do that to me.
Welcome to the world of Oriogenesis, aka DMAA. In about 20 minutes, you will be fucked.
Have you actually given me more?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I like giving people drugs.
You're a psycho, mate.
Oh yeah, shake that ass, shake that ass. That's what Oriogenesis does to you. Today's intro, 1 scoop of EnduroVolt. I'll go between this and Supplement Needs. Supplement Needs EA Plus, slightly better on the hydration front. So what I do with the EnduroVolt is add in some 40,000 volts from Amazon, and plus I like the flavour. The berry limeade is lovely, lovely taste. It's Kappa Festival this weekend, and our Peggy Goo, is ill, bless her. She couldn't perform. So in memory of, well, she's not fucking dead, Tom. She's just sick in the hospital. She got food poisoning. So for Peggy. After weeks of not being able to find it, my dad has acquired the dank, aka the white cocoa pops. There's a mixed bag. Some people are enjoying it, some people aren't. I'll be the judge of that. Oh, they're quite thickly coated, aren't they? What's everyone complaining about?
That's what I mean.
They're actually banging.
Unreal, I think.
Granted, the coconut water, milk. Hold on.
I think they're banging. I think they'd be too sickly if there was more chocolatey, yeah.
I think any more white chocolatey, they may border the too sickly. I'd say a solid 7.5 out of 10. Meal number 2 is post-workout meal. It's too late in the day. I'm very annoyed with myself that I haven't consumed enough calories, but shit happens and we'll get them in. But it's 5:30. 100 grams of Cocoa Pops. There it is, look, little prick. In an attempt to get more carbs in, I'm going to have another bowl of Cocoa Pops and a bagel and some jam, and that'll put me on about 400 carb, and then I can have my 2 chicken and rice meals, or a chicken and rice meal and a chicken and pasta meal before bed, and we should hit the day. One tip I would recommend, if you're putting your food later in the day, if you woke up late for example, after this meal, go and have a little walk, 10 minutes around the block and come back. It will help aid digestion, you can go again. The last thing I hate is getting into that position where you're cramming all this food in late at night and you just start getting full up and your appetite goes. So after this, I'll go for a little walk. Next meal, good old chicken pasta with some cherry tomatoes, Lloyd Grossman sauce, 300 grams of chicken mini fillets and 150 grams of pasta. Like wet carbohydrate sources, wet meals go down easily. I think you understand what I mean by wet. Getting in that amount of carbs through rice, do you know what I mean, in terms of creating enough saliva to help with digestion. Pasta goes down easily. Bit of sauce, also the tomatoes in there as well. Perfect.
Metabolism in the liver, we're looking at these guys, cytochrome P450 enzymes known as CYPs.
I'm going to mum's because she's in. Where is she? Where is she? Where are you going? Where is everyone going? Where are you going? Oh, you need your car for work. Going to mum's because I think she's in Tenerife, so plus our flat, because we're at the top floor, is so hot. And her flat's quite cool. Oh bollocks, 8 o'clock. Dr. Dean St. Mart is doing his live chat that was at Body Power on pharmacology. So I don't know when this goes out or if he'll save it and put it as a highlight, but if he does, heavily recommend you watch it. Fantastic talk. Fantastic talk by Dr. Dean. With some solid notes on pharmacology and also the health implications of anabolic steroids. And then we finish with the final meal of the day, which is 1 pack of oats, the Tesco Easy Oats Apple and Blueberry, 1 bagel with some peanut butter, 20 grams of peanut butter, some raisins in there as well, 1.5 scoops of whey protein, and just some refreshing dark chocolate mint to go inside the oats as well. And then once that's digested, sleep stack as usual, and my Breathe Right strips. I'm going to leave the video there. This is no excuses. I know I've only gone to my mum's, but when people say, oh, I can't prep, easy. How's that for a flashback? In the corner where it all began. It used to be an iPhone 5. Now it's a Canon EOS R. Anyway, I'm going to leave I don't know how I ended my old videos when I first started on YouTube. I definitely didn't say thank you, good night, much love. I probably said something like, alright, cheers guys, see you later.